Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. It's been a while since I heard of actress Sharon Stone of Basic Instincts, Legs Akimbo fame. And sadly, she's another Hollywood leftie losing it. And she has this message for the women of America.
I've been thinking a lot about last night's debate. And I've been thinking about the fact that more women are registered to vote than any other singular group. So ladies, remember this. No matter how sleepy Joe may have seemed, he's wide awake for you. So vote for yourself.
Yes, the dementia dude is wide awake for you. This is a guy who doesn't even know what a woman is and who wants men in women's sport, in women's locker rooms, prisons. Apparently he's a champion of women. Thank God we have Hollywood has-beens like Sharon telling us how to vote. Now let's watch this young woman give mixed messages about pronouns. Are we supposed to ask or not?
Ma'am or sir, I'm not sure. I didn't misgender you, did I?
Oh, please, go yourself.
Oh, that's not very ladylike.
Oh, now you're misgendering me. Ladylike.
Oh, well, what are you exactly?
None of your business. What are you?
But you said I misgendered you. If I don't know what you are, how can I not misgender you?
You can't win with some people. I'm still not sure whether that's satire or real because it's just too funny. But sometimes with these people, you might be married to them and still making these mistakes.
I recently came out as non-binary to my fiancé, and he's having a hard time switching my pronouns. Let's see if this helps.
Her fiancé. Run, dude, run. And staying on pronouns, let's hear from this lass who went from she, her to they, them, but now she prefers what she calls collective pronouns because, you know, it's the vibe.
Yes, I'd be happy to. So, I have slowly but surely been identifying less and less with she, her, hers, which were my pronouns for years. And for a while I was like, I guess they, them, theirs, whatever worked for me. But I've realized that we're all so inherently connected that what makes me feel most validated is when I and when others use us and ours and we. Like, I love that for us. Like, instead of I love that for you, like, I love that for us. And things like that, you know what I mean? It makes me feel really happy. And as often as I can, I strive to use collective pronouns.
Oh dear, I think we need to clone this cat until we can figure out what is happening. You know this clip.
Hi, my name is Erin. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm...
We've played a lot of car crash moments from that presidential debate, but for pure comic timing and lols, nothing beats this classic moment from 2016 where Megyn Kelly, then a Fox News anchor, had this tough question for Trump.
In particular, when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
And that's why CNN didn't have a live crowd there for that debate. Now, you'll recall during that debate the humorous moment where Trump and Biden talked about golf. The banter between the men over their golf handicaps proved to be rich material for a couple of Aussie brothers, Archie and Miles Shepherd. Enjoy this hilarious reimagining of that exchange.
I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf with you if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie, that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn
Let's not act like children.
to a specific concern.
They're so good. Now, from that intentional hilarity to unintentional hilarity, courtesy of Labor MP and Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy, who thinks men can grow a cervix or perhaps have one implanted.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix, David?
I don't know if it's transphobic, but it's not accurate, Nick. I mean, obviously, it's probably the case that only that trans women don't have ovaries, but a cervix, I understand, is something that you can have following various procedures and hormone treatment and all the rest of it.
Wow, Labor are about to win in a landslide, so that clown is about to be Foreign Secretary. Good luck, Britain. Now, more lefties losing it with my next guest, documentary filmmaker and commentator Ami Horowitz. Ami, we will get to the chaos in the Biden White House shortly, but first we've played footage here of Jewish-owned restaurants, businesses being targeted by protesters, including in Democrat heartland, Washington, D.C.
Tate, the most basic Israeli establishment in D.C. Here we have some mediocre white people to start the day off. More mediocre white people. You guys, we're gonna give you a pass, but next time, please skip Tate. It's owned by devilish white people. Guys, look at this white man here. Sir, do you have a stance on Palestine, sir?
And now in another very liberal progressive area, West Hollywood, a Jewish man says he was denied service because he was wearing a kippah.
I cannot buy coffee.
Why?
Because I have a kippah. The owner should say I cannot buy a coffee.
Why?
I don't know. Because they recognize I'm Jewish. Who's gonna decide? You or the owner?
Why is he prohibited from buying coffee?
Who's gonna decide? I'm sorry. I have a question. Who's gonna make the decision? You or the owner?
Please just get off the phone.
Okay.
Why can't he buy coffee? Why can't he buy coffee?
Because I have a kippah.
Why can't he buy coffee?
Ami, the owner, according to that Jewish man, didn't want to serve him because he's Jewish, but some of the staff and customers expressed support. But you would have noted the rainbow flags in the shot. The so-called tolerant and inclusive are proving to be anything but.
Yeah, no, I did notice that. And look, there's a silver lining here, and the silver lining with all the problems we've been having is that we have now revealed what we've been saying for years, and it really is not about Israel. It's not about anti-Zionism. It's about anti-Semitism. They've cloaked themselves in this, hey, I don't hate Jews, hate Israel, garbage for years. And now it's all opened up. Now we all see it for what it's worth. So that's the good side, that we've actually exposed them for who they are and what they are. When it comes to the LGBT flags and support for the Palestinians, I find it so fascinating. And it's a kind of a deep dive here, but here's the reality. There is a connection between support among the LGBT community and the Palestinians, and it's baffling to most people because, look, they're throwing gay people off of roofs, right? They're murdering gay people, not just in Gaza, Hamas-controlled Gaza, but also the tolerant West Bank of the Palestinians. And what it comes down to is ultimately this idea of shared victimhood, right? That victimhood is such a powerful human emotion that they would rather connect with other victims, perceived victims, even if those people are actually persecuting them. That's how powerful that emotion is. It actually goes against your core drive of who you are. It's terrible. It's unfortunate. It's the same reason why if you go to climate change marches, there are always flags for the Palestinians. What's the connection, right? The connection is we see global victimhood and we see the Palestinians as victims, and that's the reason why.
It is. It's all that intersectionality, as they prefer to call it. It's essentially an anti-West, neo-Marxist movement, and you can pick them on any issue. On any issue, you know precisely where they're going to fall. Now to the White House, and it's been a rough 24 hours for White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Let's see how well she went.
All of us saw what happened on Thursday, where he simply could not form coherent answers. Does President Biden, at 81 years old, have Alzheimer's, any form of dementia, or degenerative illness that would cause these sorts of lapses? And it's a yes or no question. And if you don't know, why don't you, as one of his senior staff members, know?
I have an answer for you. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
It's a no. And I hope you're asking the other guy the same exact question.
Well, the other guy wasn't an incoherent mess, Corinne. That's probably why they're not asking that right now. That's how she handled a fairly tough question. Let's see how she handles this much softer question from a journalist who perhaps wants to create a narrative around cold medication interfering with the president's ability to think and communicate.
What medications was he taking in the days or hours leading up to the debate?
And I know that question has come in a couple of times to us. He was not taking any cold medication.
Was he taking any medication that would have interfered with his
He
performance?
was not taking any cold medication. That is what I can speak to. I've asked his doctor, and that's what he stated to us.
He was not taking any cold medication, but they asked about any medication, Army. Does anyone in America seriously believe the president is not helped, not medicated to perform through certain events? Granted, that medication didn't do a great job during the presidential debate, but it's going to be increasingly difficult to undo the deterioration we see in the president with a cocktail of drugs.
Yeah, no, look, they're gaslighting us. That's what's happening here. There's obviously a split Democratic Party. You have the replace Biden crowd and the keep Biden crowd. And the keep Biden crowd, they have their marching orders. They've been all over the media. And they're saying things like he was over-prepped, right? They use that word. They say he had a bad debate performance. A bad debate performance? I mean, the Hindenburg was a gas leak. That's a similar comparison. Look, these are not the droids you are looking for. Yeah, that Jedi mind crap isn't working on us. We saw what happened. We saw the implosion. Look, Axios just came out with a report that said he's only engaged between 10 and 4. He's keeping doctor's hours. I mean, the Department of Motor Vehicles has longer hours than the President of the United States. This is a problem. And what this really did was it exposed the media carrying the water for Joe Biden. For years they were testifying how competent he was, how we've seen him behind the scenes. He's in total command. They swore up and down that he was there, all there. He was fine. And look, if they didn't lose all their credibility during Russiagate, during BLM, during good people on both sides, they lost it completely now, Rita. It's unbelievable. And by the way, this also really puts into a different perspective the Robert Hur report. Like, now I understand fully why they're trying to keep that report, because I have no doubt that he was blathering incoherently during that entire time. Now we understand why they are fighting tooth and nail to keep it out. But I'll tell you this, if anybody out there thinks they're going to replace him, they are mistaken. They're not going to be able to replace him because the next in line is Kamala Harris, and they can't replace her because they screwed themselves on DEI. They brought in a completely incompetent vice president because she was a black woman, and now they're stuck with her. And if they do try to replace her with a white man like Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer, a white woman, they will lose their entire left flank. They cannot do it. They'll weaken and Bernie him if they have to. That's what's going to happen.
Unless they convince Michelle Obama, because she even outranks Kamala in those DEI points. But I'm with you. I think that's still a long shot. I know there's a big movement to make that happen, but I think it's still a long shot. I want to ask you about Vogue magazine. Jill Biden's on the cover, and I love the front page of the New York Post referencing that. Forget about Jill's Vogue cover. The headline is vague with a picture of the president. But Jill Biden, the elder abuse enabler, she's on the cover of the upcoming Vogue, and she looks amazing, it must be said. Different from what we saw over the weekend after the debate, but it's just further proof, Army, of the media's anti-Trump bias. We had Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Jill Biden. Michelle and Jill have had several Vogue covers, but Melania, a fashion and beauty icon, a model, she was shunned. What do you make of the timing of this Jill Biden Vogue cover? To be on the cover of a fashion magazine after what has just happened with her husband at that debate and all the scrutiny of her role in keeping him going and not allowing him to, I don't know, enjoy his final years, relaxing somewhere with the grandchildren.
First of all, Rita, shame on you. Okay, it's Dr. Jill Biden, the greatest medical mind of our time, up there with Dr. Strange and Dr. Pepper. So shame on you for, that's a preferred pronoun, so we're clear, Dr. Jill Biden. Now, look, obviously they're carrying the water of the Biden administration. And yes, that is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to, and by the way, you're right, she looks great for 73. Absolutely stunning. But yes, of course, Vogue is in the pocket of the Democratic Party. They have been for years. None of this is new. And look, the timing is, I don't think the timing is I think it's suspect. I think they did it for a reason. They did it now because they're trying to move away from Joe Biden and his debate performance.
Armie Horowitz, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Always a pleasure.